I'm on a game show. Do you remember this moment? I would like to share those memories with you and the world. So hot, you know. Not apologetic.
Nonsense.
This is what happened. And this is so embarrassing, but if you can't tell the world all the embarrassing stuff that happened to you, I don't want to live in that world myself. I don't ever dream. If I do, I don't remember it. I don't know. It's probably all the medicine, you know.
You want to dream, dude? Take some melatonin.
I take 5 milligrams and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not
to
prepared to talk about yet. I drift off, surrounded in a sea of love by my puppies, alone in my bed, just a blanket of love. I'm on a game show, and it was basically like, do you remember this moment? And then they would show a real thing that actually happened to me that I don't know if I blocked out. I would like to share those memories with you and the world.
Buckle up.
It starts with little 3rd grade Trav Daddy. So me and a couple other boys my age, we would trade pictures from porn mags. And these weren't like Playboys. These were like look inside the cavern and see space, you know, type stuff.
With that hustler.
This was the real stuff. I had a porno piece that had a woman with she had very closed lips. You know what I'm talking about? The nice. My buddy's picture, they were wide open, doing the old man mustache. You know what I mean? Like, they were just open. We were debating, well, why is her open? Why is her closed? So we debated on this for weeks. Then eventually one of the kids, he comes in and he's like, hey, I talked to my brother. I know why some are open and some are closed. And we're like, well, come on, you know?
Spill the beans.
He says that when their vaginas are cold, they close up so that they can preserve warmth, because if you want to have babies, that vajayjay's got to be warm. And then when they get too warm, they open up to let the heat out. So I believe this. You know what I mean?
Sounds logical.
I still believe it today, if I'm being honest. But so in my dream, all these senior citizens are pointing and laughing at me. Ha, dumb fuck.
Fucking loser.
And I am starting to get upset. So they're like, well, we got one more to show you. So it fast forward to Travis in 5th grade, right? So there was this girl in my class, and she would use the expression, that's so hot. She would hot, you know, like a complete twat. If a dude would come, and you know, we were all 5th graders. If a dude would come in and, like, let's say he had and this is all what really happened. Let's say he had like a jacket on, like tight fitting jacket or something, you know, she'd be like, oh, that's so hot. Jimmy's so hot. Or like a dude would be wearing like loose fitting sweatpants and she'd be like, oh, so hot, you know. So, as an inquisitive boy that I was, I invite her to my house, my parents' house. She was very forward and tells me to take my shirt off.
Oh.
So you best believe I had that shirt off in 0.2 seconds, right? She removes hers. She had little pointers. And she goes, lay down. And I'm like, what for? You know? She's like, lay down. I'm like, all right. So we lay chest to chest. She's on top of me, I'm on bottom, and we're awkwardly looking into each other's eye sockets, right? And she goes, do you feel the warmth? I said, yeah, pretty warm. And she's like, that's so hot. and then I asked her to describe what she meant. She goes, when something is heat, when something is hot, that's so hot. And she had a sister who would use that term, but of course her sister knew what it meant. The little sister I was dealing with thought it meant, that's why she said it to the dude with the jacket, the person in the sweatpants. It was nothing to do with sexuality. She thought that's so hot was...
It's too warm to be wearing that clothing.
She thought it was all about warmth. So when she's laying chest to chest on my naked chest and she's going, so hot, like she was talking about the body warmth coming off of it. But little 5th grade me believed that for at least 2 years that's what that's so hot meant, okay? I can't front. Now, at this point in the dream, everyone, they're already pointing and laughing. They start throwing stuff at me, right? Just looking at me straight like,
what's this brother smoking over here?
And I'm getting furious. And I'm like, fuck every last one of you. You know, that might have been your granddaughter. How dare you?
Stop laughing at me.
So all of this comes to a culmination, if you will, if that's a real word. 3 years later in 7th grade, okay? I got a buddy, and I'm hanging out with him, and he had these two, they were kind of like his stepsisters, I guess, and they were real hood sleazebags, okay? We were over
Some promiscuous.
This is a side note. This part wasn't in the dream. I just want to say this. We were over at their house one time, and we look in the VCR, and it was a VHS that said How to Live with AIDS.
Oh, dear God.
Side note. Back to the story, though. One of them girls, and she was like drop dead sexy, so she probably the one with AIDS. The other one was fat and ugly. Who wants that? But so anyhow, she thought she'd bust my balls, and you know I hadn't had no num yet, you know. So she was like, "Hey, whatever you do, make sure you don't put it in the pee hole." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean? You know, show me." But no. So she goes, "You know, women have their vagina hole for sex." I'm showing this. Their vagina hole for sex, and they also have a pee hole, both of which can be entered because they're the same size. And she's like, "I freaking hate it when dudes put it in my pee hole." And so I'm paranoid for like the next 2 years till I have sex that I'm going to accidentally put it in her pee hole and she's going to tell everybody in school. And this followed me all the way up to the night. That one followed me all the way up to the night I lost my virginity. Okay.